You heard it here. We are bold. We are brave and we are paid well. And yes, we are Power Women. Welcome to our Power Women TV show. Welcome. Welcome and thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, make sure that you write your questions, your comments right below, and we will be answering and featuring you. If you have not yet joined the wonderful world of Power Women Elite, make sure that you visit Power Women Elite today. And yes, we are here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, right here inside our Power Women group. And my name is Evie Hernandez, and I am a strategic growth speaker at bizniversity.com. I'm also the founder of the Bizniversity Speakers Growth Summit. And I am very proud to say that I am a Power Woman Elite, and I am your host. And today, I'm very happy to share with you someone that is part of our amazing community, and that is Dorothy Erlanger. Welcome, Dorothy.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Dorothy, I am so glad that you are here with us. And for those of you who want to find out more about Dorothy, we have her website right there. Please feel free to connect with her online. You may Google her and also directly on her website. And Dorothy, why don't we start by you first introducing yourself and telling our viewers who don't know you a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, well, I'm Dorothy Erlanger, and I have had my own business for over 30 years, and of course gone through various iterations, maybe not quite as fast a pivot as the last few months. In that time, I have taught and trained and done consulting work in over 25 countries and facilitation work for major corporations. But as time has gone along, I had already started shifting to much more facilitation work, which I love, bringing groups to actionable conclusions. And with the COVID-19, a natural way of taking that facilitation to another level is getting into producing for other people so that they look good when they get online. And so that's where I have come from a business standpoint. I live in Richmond, Virginia on the East Coast, and I have a lovely home, and as we were just commenting, a dog that weighs more than I weigh, which I was just commenting, is lying next to me. And so but the Power Women Elite group has been just such an amazing, amazing influence over the past several months. It's just been a wonderful group to be part of.
Well, great. And we're going to talk about that. And Begin is saying, love seeing you, Catherine Oxford. Barbara Barron, I want to say hello to one of our regular viewers, the bold, the brave, Barbara Barron. Hi, Barbara. Feel free to please ask questions. She is almost always here with us every Thursday at 5. So that's why I want to say a shout out to her. So thank you, Barbara, for being here. And so let's talk about that repositioning of your business. So what exactly are you doing right now, and how exactly did you reposition? How are you helping people, and who are you helping right now?
Who I am helping right now, and it kind of evolved out of doing it on a volunteer basis for groups like this and like Gina Carr's group, is if you are doing a presentation online, you need to be focused only on that presentation. I do everything else. I handle all the backstage stuff, all the back of the room. I handle the chat, the security, the questions, the answers, and also any technical problems that happen, which have been known to occur. And I just let that presenter shine. I let that presenter be on their best. And you need to do that because if you are the expert, and you need to be seen as the expert. And part of that is how you come across.
Yes, we want to be seen and we want to be heard. Oh, Barbara says she loves Dorothy. Awesome. And I love that you said that. Shine as an expert online. Have a great producer. Yeah. Where have you been? I'm so glad that you are here now. I'm so glad. And maybe people now since the pandemic, they have now been reaching out, but we've always needed you. I know that for me, I do about 10 webinars a month. I've been needing you forever. And so I'm so glad that you're around, and I'm so glad that actually you're the producer for our Businessversity Speakers Growth Summit, because it is scary. And, I'm not a Zoom expert. I know there are some people out there that are scared. So what are some of the basic tips that you can impart on us? Know that not so that we can go out and do it by ourselves, but to empower us with at least the confidence to look good.
Well, there's a couple of things that are just really basic, and they have to do with anything you're doing online. If you don't spend money on anything else, get a decent microphone. I can't stand listening to something that's echoing all over the place and so on. The other thing, one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen made at all different levels is have the camera at your eye level. Don't have the camera so you're looking up somebody's nose. How many times have we seen that? And then relative to whatever platform you're using with Zoom or whatever, make sure that you have the right security in place. And luckily, most of these platforms, and Zoom particularly, has really done a lot of emphasis on this so that you don't have to be worrying about who might show up or that something might go wrong. And then one additional thing I would say is have some kind of a backup. Have your phone there so that if you had to switch to that, you could. People do understand that things happen, but you need to be prepared.
I love that. Yeah, we forget about having a backup, and I'm so glad that you reminded me of that. And, and that's so important. And I love that you said to where you should have the camera, because I had to use a teledoc during this time, the past 3 weeks. And I had a teledoc with the doctor looking down on me, and all I could see were his nostrils. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you looking at me, or am I going to do some type of ear, nose, and throat checking you out, because I could just see his nostrils. So
I had a teledoc with his doctor, and all you could see was that.
So it's funny, that is something that every professional, not just us as speakers, coaches, consultants, authors, using this, but really I hope that, and that's one of the things that, I want to invite you to come to my platform, because I think that you need to teach people just basic etiquette, because really you don't come off professional if you're doing that. And recently I was also in a seminar, and the whole time the presenter never looked directly in here. And I know that I've gotten better because, Gina Carr and you are teaching me to stay looking. But I was like the presenter the whole time, and I'm like, what's over there? So I am so glad. So tell us a little more about how you can just help us to shine on those special summits, webinars, events that we're doing. I mean, when should we call on Dorothy, and why?
Preferably, particularly if you're doing a summit early, because I want to make sure that everything is coordinated. I have a chance to talk with each of the speakers. I have a chance to understand what your flow is. And I'm working on a conference for the UK now where we're doing that. And there's going to be a bunch of presenters. So earlier rather than later. Even if you're just doing a webinar, particularly if you're relatively early on in that, get together with me, because I will go through with you, and I might be able to give you some hints, because I've done a lot of presentations myself on here's an engagement tool you might use. Here's how you might really bring your audience in here. Here's a little bit of a tool that you can use that will really get that interaction going. So I might be able to give you a little bit of pre-event coaching to bring that level up a bit in terms of how you're presenting. And it also gives me the comfort that once we get into the actual event, I'm going to know where you're going next, and I can anticipate what is needed.
So I love that. Work with Dorothy for your webinar facilitation. And by the way, if you have a question right now and you're watching us now, or even on the replay, make sure that you put a question right below this video. And also wow, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Where can people contact you if they have more questions after this goes as a recording, after the live? So there you go, Dorothy Erlanger at gmail.com. Feel free to send her any questions. Yes. And I like that you said that you do a little coaching, because I know that now that you said that, that reminds me we have to get a date that is good with you so that we can schedule that with all our speakers. Because, wait a minute, so even if speakers have been speaking for a long time, do you still need to coach them in advance?
This is such a different medium. Unless they are people who have been extremely accustomed to working online, they need to at least come through and spend a few minutes on, here are the basics, here's what's going to happen, and here's how you can punch it up a little bit in a way that will come across in an online environment. That's what they're not used to.
And I love that you offer that as part of your service, because it is true. Like, I remember last year when I did my live event, I didn't know how everybody spoke. And I had a few that I said, oh, maybe I should have thought about this. But I'm so glad that you're going to, and we have to schedule this. And how far in advance should we schedule this time where we bring all our speakers from our summit to meet with you so that you can do a little coaching? And how long is this little coaching that you give them kind of guiding them?
When you're leading into a conference and you want to do some coaching with the speakers, I wouldn't do it too far in advance. You want it to be fairly fresh for them, unless you're bringing in somebody that you're concerned is very inexperienced. But in general, I would say in about a week prior, and then just work out some time and I would want to spend, if I was working individually, maybe 15 minutes with each person, assuming they're already a decent speaker. And if I'm working with 3 or 4 people, I'd want to extend it. But the advantage to working with 3 or 4 people at once is they also learn from comments made to the other person.
Very, very good. Yes, yes, yes. That is awesome to know. And I love that you said that you give tips and tactics and tools that you suggest to make it more dynamic and more fun. Is that true? That's what you do?
That's absolutely true. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a situation now where I'm going to be doing a lot of that for a major conference that's one of the National Cancer Institute organizations. And I'm not doing the tech for that conference. Believe me, that requires a huge production company. But I am doing the training and the coaching and talking with speakers and recommending tools and so on, all the way from now through to when the conference comes out.
That is great. And we have a speaker's green room before the talk. So to talk about their awesomeness and even greater. So is that something that you promote, having a speaker's green room in advance?
If you have a larger conference, you have multiple speakers, it's a really good idea to have a speaker's green room, and also to have a tech person who is quote unquote sitting there with them, so that if any last minute tech stuff comes up, they have someone that they can virtually turn to right at that moment and say, wait a minute, my mic isn't working. I mean, things can go wrong at any point, and somebody who can do a little disaster recovery on the spot.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that I have you and you're going to be covering us, because actually that has happened to me. And, I do a lot of webinars, and one time, I don't know what happened. Someone was saying they couldn't hear me. I started messing around with the system, and before I knew, I knocked everybody out. And then I couldn't get back in. So I hear you. So important. And I know that you have put together some great packages so people can reach out to you. And your email is down there for either, a major conference that they're putting together, or a summit, or even their regular ongoing webinars, right?
Absolutely. I love working. As a matter of fact, I've worked with people that is their very first webinar, and that's actually a lot of fun, because then you really see the person come along, and it's really an interesting experience. I think it's the teacher in me. I did a lot of training before.
Very, very cool. So let's talk about what successes have you had? Some people, Peggy says she wants you to talk about the webinars that you do. Go ahead and then talk to us about some of the successes, because during this time, some people are hurting and they didn't know that we're not perhaps as intelligent or smart as you, that you reposition. No, I'm just kidding about that. Yeah. No, but really, I want to hear about your successes. And Barbara said, Dorothy, tell listeners how your group participants question so speaker is not distracted with the chats.
That's right. That's exactly what I do. I mean, but I also ask the speaker in advance. Different speakers have different preferences, and I change depending on, does the speaker want to take questions as they go, or do they want to take them in a chunk at the end? And that's one of the briefings that I do before I start, so that each speaker's preferences are taken into account. But in terms of managing webinars, it's really a great process. I mean, I do a briefing beforehand. We do a walkthrough. I talk with them about what settings we're going to be using, make sure they're okay with that. I also find out where are their participants coming from. Are they people that are known to them or not? Because I may change some security settings depending on that, which is something that I manage in the background. And various other things so that they're prepared. We've done a run through, they're ready to go, so that when they get on there, and we've also done lighting and all of those other things that we will be working with through. Some of the security settings that are key. Number one, if I'm running a webinar, I always use a waiting room. If it's, I do not allow people to change their names. That's an interesting thing, because if somebody changes their name, they can spoof that their name is the same as somebody else's. Now, there are some people who would disagree with that. I also, depending on the webinar, you can have a setting such that if somebody leaves or if you kick them out, they can't come back, which is can be very important. And the other thing is, in the waiting room, if I see a name that I don't recognize, I will chat with that person and ask, how'd you find out about this? Before I let them in.
Very, very cool.
So those are just a few of the things, and there's other layers of security that you can use, and each program has its own. That's particularly related to Zoom, but most of them are doing similar sorts of things. So.
I love that. So I am so grateful that you share that, but also I'm so grateful that I have you, that I know you, and all of you that are watching right now, you can just,
I feel that my job is to make that presenter shine and to make them have total confidence that they can just do their expert thing and not have to think about anything else.
That is so good. And it's good to know that. So tell us about your successes over the past few months since you repositioned. Tell us a little bit about your successful experiences.
Well, I think there've been probably three very different sorts of things. Number one, I got thrown into actually organizing. I have a client for whom I've been doing on-job, on-site facilitation for teams. And we all of a sudden had to swap into virtual, and I had to organize it. And I realized by doing that, how much work is involved in making it work well. It's a lot more work than an in-person event, a lot more. That came off extremely well. Lots of participation and engagement. It was perfect. I've done a number of webinars where people are doing an individual webinar or a series of webinars where I've come in as the producer on that. And then the third experience has been where I am involved early on, and it's an earlier conference with the National Cancer Institute group, where I've been involved in advance, training people to host meetings and working with them on the organization and making sure that everything's covered and handling questions and so on. And then kind of I sat in some of the meetings just to give a little confidence, but fundamentally they were running it. So that's three different types of experiences that I've had, and each of which has led to other things.
That is awesome. Congratulations to you, and congratulations for being able to reposition yourself and really just your wealth of knowledge. And I love that. Producing, training, coaching, and facilitating. Yay!
And doing triathlons along the way.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. We forgot to talk about that. We forgot that. Tell us a little bit about that before I ask you one of my last questions.
Okay. Well, I started doing triathlons at a rather late, like I was a couch potato. And after 50 and after ovarian cancer, did a very short triathlon to kind of pick myself up off the floor. And I got hooked. And I've done everything up to and including an Ironman triathlon. And the interesting thing, I'll talk about transitions in triathlon and how it relates to pivoting in your business. You think you're doing just 3 sports, right? In reality, a race is made or broken in the transitions, meaning from the swim to the bike or from the bike to the run. And those transitions are hard. They're really difficult because you're using entirely different muscles. You're using entirely different mindset and everything else. So when I had to pivot my business, which is exactly what I did, I looked at, what do I need? I need some coaching. I need to build confidence in this, and I need to persevere to get it done. And that was truly what happened. And it just relates back to the same type of thing that I do in triathlon with transitions.
Wow, that is so cool. I love that analogy. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So I met you through Elite, through the Power Women Worldwide,
Right.
Power Women Elite program and mastermind. So tell me, what has Elite given you?
I honestly I can't imagine having done this and done it as effectively as I did without that group. It is such an amazing group, and Pegin's leadership and using the Think and Grow Rich along with it. It is such an experience, but it's the team, it's the group. When we get into breakouts, the richness of what we do is just amazing. And that has been, I would say, a key element in my being able to pivot my business and get up and start running.
I hear you and I agree with you. I mean, we are bold, we are brave, and we are well paid. And we are grateful for Pegin's leadership because, I mean, every time I do one of these interviews and I interview a Power Woman Elite, I say, wow, it is amazing how she's been able to attract these amazing women like herself who are just powerful leaders, and that is so cool. So I really hear what you're saying. Barbara Barron is saying, as an Ironman triathlete, must be why Dorothy is so good at triple tasking virtual webinars.
Thank you, Barbara. That's a great one.
That is so cool. Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And so anything else, like, what do I need to know? Because I am one of the people that is working with you for our upcoming Businessversity Speakers Growth Summit. So what are some specific things that you tell hosts who are hosting and speaking, who are doing like a million things? Like I told you, I've been getting up at 7:30 and going to sleep at 11:30. The closer that the event gets, the more worried I am. The reason why I'm happy that you're part of our team. What do you tell people that are doing everything?
Try to break it up, delegate what you can, find other resources. And you know this as well as I do, Evie. You've told me this too. Pay to get it done if that's what it takes. But also another thing that I do, because I do a lot of process work as well, is I break things down into, I say, if I need to be here by the end point, what are the steps that I have to take to get there, and only tackle those that you need to do right now, because otherwise it's just total overwhelm. And I've been in a situation where I went into that in the NCI conference where I chair the patient advocate committee, so I had other responsibilities and I was helping, but I did it by segment. Try to segment things out as best you possibly can.
Thank you. And you know, people that are watching, they notice that I said that, yes, Dorothy said we have a mastermind. And I said that I'm working with Dorothy in my event. So one of the benefits, of the many benefits that you get by being a member of the Power Women Elite, is that you begin collaborating with people. I like to call it synergize. By being a member of Power Women Elite, I have not only help myself grow as a woman, as a leader, as a professional, as a speaker, but as a partner in terms of having strategic partnerships, understanding how to collaborate, how to connect, how to network. And, you know, people can see it by the fact that we're working together and we're helping each other.
It's so true. I mean, that collaborative and synergies and cross business and so many things that are going on there as people get to know each other, and things just trigger. I mean, things develop, and you find that you have a synergy with somebody else, and you have the trust, because that's a high trust group.
Yes.
We work together so well.
And now I'm going to say something, and I don't want Peggy to hear this. This is a secret, but Power Women Elite is so affordable that I've probably made 10 to 20 times that over. So if you are here watching, either now live or in the recording, and you're wondering, if you're feeling alone in your business, if you're wondering, who should I reach out because I need a producer, because I need this or that. In this community, we have so many different talented women. Yes, $47 a month. That's incredible. Listen, I think that is just a steal because I'm not kidding. I've made that over and over. I don't want her to know that, but yes, it is true. And so if you are on the sidelines feeling alone or lonely in your business because maybe you're a one or two woman show and you're saying, I don't want to be in part of a group I thought. I don't want to go braid my hair, right? There's nothing like that happening here. You have Peggy, who is a power woman. She is a leader in the industry, guiding us and helping us connect with each other so we can synergize, as I call it, create synchronicities so we can collaborate and grow together. So there's no reason for you to be out there by yourself when you have Power Women Elite to help and guide you, right? I mean, hello.
And I have to tell you, I think that without the collaboration of this group and without the encouragement and the weekly get-togethers and the reinforcement, even when somebody's down and not just things just not going well, this has been a very scary period of time, and having this group there has been a very important piece to keeping things moving forward.
Absolutely. So we have about 3 minutes. Is there anything else you want to say? Any words of encouragement or any last tips that you want to say?
I would just say, don't be afraid to take that chance. I have actually when I was doing keynotes, have a keynote that I call the next 100 yards. And it comes out of a situation where I was actually not going to even start a triathlon because I was so petrified by the mountains and the bike. And I talked with my coach at the time, and he said, you cannot look at that mountaintop or you will not get there. But he said, if you just look the next 100 yards in front of you and say, what do I have to do to get over this rise or over this piece, the next 100 yards. And I finished that triathlon, and I actually qualified for a world race out of that triathlon. And I truly, I had that next 100 yards in my mind throughout.
That is so cool. Thank you so much. And let's remind everyone, if you want to reach Dorothy, if you have any questions, if you want to find out how she can help you and empower you to be better, look better, and shine online, make sure you visit her website today at Dorothy Erlanger and dorothyerlanger@gmail.com. My name is Evie Hernandez. I am the host of the Power Women Elite Show. We are here every Thursday. For information on Power Women Elite, I'll give it to you in a second. But if you want to join us at my upcoming event, the Bizdiversity Speakers Growth Summit, make sure to go to sgs2020.com. And also for any Power Women, we have a special offer and a special link, which is bit.ly Power Women VIP. And that will get you a buy one, get one half off if you are a Power Women. Because being a member of Power Women Elite and Power Women has many, many benefits, as we talked about today. So it says here, one of our Facebook users, don't walk, run if you want to be part of an extraordinarily powerful group of amazing women goddesses. You be crazy not to want to grow your business, to be part of the most amazing sisterhood. And I say amen to that. So thank you so much. Make sure that you log on to our Power Women and the StreamYard right below this video. So next time when you visit us inside the Power Women group, that you can we can put your name. For now, this is Evie Hernandez, Strategic Growth Speaker at bizdiversity.com and proud member of the PowerWomenElite.com. We hope that you take time to visit PowerWomenElite.com today and join us, because there's plenty of room at the top.
brave, be seen, be heard, and be paid well.
We are still